To buy Madden 22 coins for the 100% cheapest price on the internet with quick delivery, check out my sponsor MMOEXP by clicking the link at the top of the description and use code SWIFT at checkout for 5% off. Salsa family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another Madden 22 video on the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some most feared tips that I strongly recommend you do. And as we get into the video, hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful NFL Sunday, boys. Comment your favorite team down below in the comment section and I'll reply to your comment with my favorite player from your team as well. If you want to win 100,000 coins, simply comment my favorite team in the comment section. The first person to do so is winning those free coins.
Great success!
Now, getting into the video, boys, we're going to go rapid fire through all these 5 tips. The first thing I want to talk about is claiming some free 90s from the solos and the house rules. Now, as you guys may or may not know, when you go to the solo challenges and you go on over to your milestones, there's some new solos in the game. In fact, enough solos to get all the way up to tier number 6, and tier number 6 is another 90 overall NCAP fantasy pack, giving you another 90 overall free player. So what I recommend you guys do is try and stay on top of these solo challenges. You don't necessarily need to play every single solo in here. The final challenge is a full game solo, so you don't necessarily need to play those, but I definitely recommend that you guys get enough stars and you're able to get up to tier 6 and you claim this free 90. Now, additionally, there's also another house rules. As you guys can see, very similar format to the previous house rules. At 15 wins, you're getting yourself another 90 overall player or an 85 plus. So these house rules, I would say you probably want to play them. They're relatively easy to do. As you guys can see, they're gonna give you a lot of points, which is nice for the objectives, but basically the way you win these is, I would say, try and force a turnover on defense. If you force a turnover on defense, people are gonna quit out pretty consistently from what I've heard. So that's kind of the strategy that I recommend you guys try and use to win those house rules games and get up to 15 wins hopefully pretty quickly. Now, tip number 2, let's talk about the best 90 overall players that I recommend you guys select out of the new 90s that came into the game, because as you guys can see from your house rules or from your solo challenges, you're gonna be earning this pack right here, which is an NCAT 90 overall fantasy pack. Okay, now rapid fire, like I said before, there's 5 players to consider out of this pack, so let me show you guys those cards right here. Now, card number 1 is going to be 90 overall Eric Rowe. He's got great speed and excel, so 90 speed, 92 excel, nice man coverage, nice zone coverage, pretty solid play rec. This card's going to be nice in man or zone. He's not going to be amazing in the run game with lower hit power and lower pursuit, but this Eric Rowe card, he seems pretty nice and definitely someone to consider at the strong safety spot. Then player number 2, you can really never go wrong with picking an offensive lineman. Joel Bitonio has some pretty nice stats for an offensive lineman. He's a 90 overall, definitely more pass balanced. As you guys can see, the pass block is higher than the run block, which is probably what you want to see in this game, as you're probably going to be passing the ball more than running the ball. A pretty nice acceleration on the card as well, so if you do want to run the ball, you can get to the second level relatively quickly. Nice strength, nice awareness, just a super balanced offensive line card. And if you want an offensive lineman to just pick and not worry about upgrading in the near future, Joel Bitonio is definitely someone to consider. Then next up right here, we got one of my favorite players in the entire promo. I could be a little bit biased as I'm a Saints fan, but Daddy Lattimore has a 91 speed and 91 excel, so that is just incredible for a corner to go along with pretty solid coverage stats. Like, they're not bad, they're not insane either. 88 man, 87 zone. You kind of wish those were a little bit higher, maybe getting up to 90s, but the physical stats are super nice. Agility looks good, jumping looks good, change of direction looks good. He's got solid height. So Daddy Lattimore, definitely one of the best corners in the game and definitely someone to consider. And then when it comes to the final card, this is a tough decision because it's either Calvin Ridley or it's Brandon Cooks, but in my opinion, I kind of prefer the stats on the Calvin Ridley. He's got 91 speed and 91 excel, pretty nice route running, pretty balanced route running to be honest. 88, 87, 88, good catching, good height, and for that reason, that's why I'm going with Calvin Ridley over the Brandon Cooks. And in my opinion, those are the 4 players to consider. The way you guys want to make this decision is make the decision based on the position you need most. If you need a corner, go with Lattimore. If you need a receiver, go with Ridley. If you want offensive line help, Bitonio is great. If you want a versatile safety, go with Eric Rowe. So what I recommend you guys do is decide upon the position you need help at and then just pick one of those 4 players based on the position you need help at. Okay, now tip number 3, I'm not going to go too in depth on this in the video, but what this tip has done is it's allowed me to get Joel Bitonio for free, Calvin Ridley for free, Joey Bosa for free, as well as Marshawn Lattimore for free. And you might be wondering, how did I already get 4 cards out of this release as NCAP players? You can only get 2 of them. Well, the way I did it is I basically completed the Randy Moss set and sold off Randy Moss, sold off Randy Moss's power up, and made back the entire cost of the set. And what that allowed me to do is basically get this pack right here, which allows you to select one of 4 NCAP players out of this promo. Now, if you guys are looking for a little bit more of an in-depth guide as to how that method works, I would strongly recommend that you guys check out the video that I posted on the channel a couple days ago. I'll leave it linked in the description. It's a super nice method. It's really something that I recommend everyone do. You don't really need to do it more than once in my opinion, but you probably want to do it like one time to allow you to honestly just rack up a ton of 90s. The 4 90s that I just talked about have super nice stats, so you could literally pick all those players players and be pretty set on the defense and the offense. And boys, since I have so many 90 overall players for free from doing the method that I talked about, instead of picking my 90 right here, I'm picking an 85 plus out of this pack. Now, I would recommend you guys go with the 85 plus if you do the unlimited 90 method, but if you don't want to do the unlimited 90 method, maybe you don't have the coins, maybe you don't have the patience, or you just don't want to check out that video, then take the 90. As you guys can see, we're going for an 85 plus. Can we get a 90 plus overall player? We're getting an 87 Braden Smith, like not the worst pull we can get. Obviously, it's not the best one either. We'll sell him off for about 38 or 39k. We'll take our coins. It's nothing special. I was hoping for something a little bit more, but no complaints right there with a free 38k. Okay, now tip number 4. This is not a tip for those of you guys that are no money spend players, but for those of you guys that spend money on the game, this Boo Bash bundle pack, I was looking at the odds and I was like, what? This is definitely the best way you can spend your money in this game. As you guys can see, this pack is giving you a 90 overall most feared player, 287s, 285s, 283s, and 281s. Now, basically what this pack gives you is it gives you a 90 and it gives you enough players to create a second 90 overall player, and it costs you 2,000 points. Now, let's compare that to the Legend Fantasy pack. As you guys can see, this pack is costing you 1,000 points and it only has a 5% chance at getting a 91 plus. So you're unlikely to get a 91 plus out of this pack, and it costs you almost the same amount of points as the bundle, but the Boo Bash bundle is guaranteed to give you 290 overall players. So this pack right here, it seems like it might just be one of the best value packs in the game as we compare this to really any other pack in here. Let's take a look at the All Pro Fantasy packs. These cost you half the price of that Boo Bash bundle, and you only have a 5% chance of getting a 90 plus, whereas in the other pack, you're guaranteed a 90 overall player. So this pack right here, if you're looking to spend money, it seems like a nice deal, and it's a limited time deal. So if you want to spend money, this is what I recommend you guys spend it on. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me, oh, what should I spend my points on? If you have leftover points, maybe go ahead and get this. It's definitely the best value out of anything in the store. Now, tip number 5, and this is going to be a quick little tip. I might make a more in-depth video on this and actually try this out for the next release of the promo. But one thing that I definitely noticed is that if we take a look at the core elite version of basically anyone that got a 90 overall player, instead of the power-up going up in price, it was this card that went up in price a lot. So let's take a look at Marshall Lattimore. As you guys can see right here, Lattimore's an 80 overall player or 81 overall player is selling for 25k. So a potential investment you guys can do is right when these cards get revealed, you could maybe buy some of the 81 overall players or the 80 overall players or maybe the 82 overall players that are associated with the card that came into the game. And if you guys take a gauge of the market and you kind of figure out how much the 80s or 81s typically go up in price to when one of those cards gets an upgrade, you can maybe apply that to one of the new players coming into the game. So Calvin Ridley, as you guys can see, let's take a look at the price of his card. Calvin Ridley up for around 20 to 21k. We'll take a look at Eric Rowe right here, or Eric Rowe, I don't think he had a card, but Batonio, we'll take a look at one right here. Let's see how much he is going to be going for. Batonio, about 11 to 17k, kind of a little price range in there. So one thing you guys can maybe do is maybe for some of those players, when they get revealed, if they have nice stats under 90, maybe you can come into the store and invest in some of the core elite versions of the card. I don't think power-up investing is really the best way to do it. The power-ups have been going up in price a ton. Batonio, 1.9k, nothing crazy. Ridley, he was not selling for a ton either, but one thing that definitely went up, if you guys are looking to invest, is maybe investing in some of the core elites. Again, Ridley, as you guys can see, only 3k right there, so nothing special. So those are the 5 tips I wanted to talk about, boys. Definitely a more chill video today, but I didn't want to go in depth into some like crazy method. I just wanted to watch football today, so hopefully you guys can appreciate that. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. I appreciate all the support on the channel recently. We've honestly been popping off, so thank you guys so much. I'm going to try and do some double uploads this week because I know you guys do enjoy those. And until next time, boys, I'm out. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.